Welcome back. You probably remember my next guest from Walk to Remember, or ER, but he's traded romance and scrubs for witches and the supernatural on WGN's America's Salem, now entering its second season. Watch this.
How many witches in Salem?
How many thorns on a rose? 100 is not enough if you wish to protect the flower, and one is too many.
How many?
What matter the exact number?
Because I intend to kill every last one of them, so it'd be helpful to know how many and their names.
Please welcome Shane West. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
You guys were just down in South by Southwest, if I'm not mistaken, right? Down in Austin for that whole deal?
That is correct. That was my first experience at South by.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's, and Austin's amazing.
It really is.
But we got very fortunate to do the opening party.
Very cool.
So if people knew about the show, they were excited about that. If they didn't, they were forced to pay attention to the show. So I kind of enjoyed that.
Yeah, we actually did a show from South by Southwest when we were down there. It was my first time as well. It's an amazing setup they've got down there. Really cool time.
It's an amazing town. Apparently, it's tiny. It doesn't seem tiny to me.
No, not when you're there that week, I don't think.
No, not during that week.
For those of us who paid attention in school, in history class or English class, we remember the Salem witch hunt or the Crucible.
That's right.
But what's your show's take on Salem?
Well, yeah, it's a very, infamous part of American history. It was a hard-to-believe period of time that existed and that even happened, but we're doing our historical fiction take on that. It's more of a fantastical story. We're making it a supernatural thriller during the Salem witch trials, and basically our whole thing is having the witches be real. And what happens if they were running the witch trials, and what happens if they were deciding who was innocent and who was guilty, thereby usually allowing themselves to be innocent. And
funny how that works.
It's kind of a cool take on that. I'm a very big horror fan and supernatural genre fan, so to be a part of it, it's really exciting.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. The end of the first season, pretty bloody finale. Now, clearly you survived, but the long hair did not survive. Long hair did not. Do you miss the long locks, or are you a bigger fan of the
booze back then? I do. I had a love-hate relationship with that hair. It's only the second project I've done with a wig, and it was very 50-50. A lot of people liked it. I'm sorry, some people liked it. A lot of people, I think a lot of people, at least going on social media, were disturbed by it. So it was period appropriate. It was correct for the time. I was the only one really, truly looking period appropriate for the time. And, it had to go.
Yeah.
But it went correctly in a good storyline part for the beginning of season 2. He's left for dead. He's rediscovered by the Native American tribe that saved him the first, 5 years before that. And he goes through a physical and spiritual transformation to come back as this hell-bent witch hunter for season 2.
So out with the old and in with the new.
Out with the old, in with the new. They hack off the locks.
All right, there it is. You guys shoot the show in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yes, that's correct.
I've actually been down there quite a few times. Lovely town, lovely town.
Yeah.
I understand you got a chance to kind of take in some of the shopping down in Shreveport, a little antique shopping you did there.
Yeah.
In fact, I think we have a picture of some of the stuff you picked up antique shopping. Oh, yeah. Tone low. Tone low.
Tone low. I thought you might appreciate that one, right?
A little light bright.
Dire Straits.
Couple guitars.
All Dogs Go to Heaven. That's an odd one in there, but
What's your favorite thing you picked up there in the antique shop?
I would say the guitars, but I did not pick them up there. Those are mine.
Okay.
The rest I picked up in the antique shop.
Oh, cool.
But it has to be the light bright, man. I freaked out when I saw the light bright. Look at that. It still has, too bad, I didn't take the best picture, but on the side, the price tag was $30.
$30?
Yeah.
Have you taken it out of the box? Does it still work?
I made them take it out of the box. It's the original box, falling apart, but I made them take it out of the box, plug in all the pieces and all that, and it still worked.
So you've confirmed it works. That's important.
I
You paid
have
$30.
the confirmation. $30? I don't know how much it's supposed to be, but I figured if it's 40 years old, I don't know.
That's like a throwback. Yeah, I remember that from being a kid, man.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
ashamed to say.
That's great.
That's very cool. You also were down there during Mardi Gras season, I understand. Did you get a chance to drive? What's it, like a 4-hour drive down to New Orleans?
Yeah, four hours to Baton Rouge, my hometown, and about 4.5 to 5 to New Orleans.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you make it down there for any of the
I did this
Mardi
year.
Gras? Yeah.
First year ever. I've never done Mardi Gras in New Orleans.
Not even growing up in Baton Rouge? You never made it down?
Well, I left when I was 12.
So it's probably a little
parents weren't
inappropriate.
excited. Yeah, they were not very excited to get me down on Bourbon Street. But I did it this year with Seth Gable, one of my co-stars on Salem, and he and I tried it out, and it's insane. It's crazy. You don't want to be on Bourbon. It's too much. But what's so great about the city is you can easily walk to it. You can walk away from it. So we would take all the many different streets to it, almost get destroyed, run away. You know, I'm like,
long live Mardi Gras.
We did it in 3 nights.
Nice, nice. That's a party. Guys, take a quick break. Much more with Shane West coming up. Stick around. I want to talk to you about a film you recently did called What We Do Is Secret, about a band called The Germs. That's right. And you got to play the lead singer of The Germs. Why was that project so important for you to do?
Growing up, my parents were in bands. My dad was like in a punk rock band. My mom was in an all-girl new wave band. Oh, there's a nice photo. So punk rock and roll was always a major part of my life. It was something I thought I was going to do. Acting became a thing when I moved to Los Angeles, and I was in high school, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I had a garage band. I was literally living in a garage, so I had a garage band with my bed right there, and you know, it was everything was there, and free, so that's always good. And it just became a major part of my life. So when I had a chance to portray such an iconic person as Darby Crash, I couldn't say no.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, I got his tattoo. I became very close with his family, very close with his bandmates, his friends. And it was a period of time in music that I've always appreciated.
Well, speaking of getting close to the role, it didn't just stop with the movie. You actually toured with The Germs on the road after that. And along with Pat Smear from Nirvana and Foo Fighters.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You were the actual lead singer on the road. I mean, it's a little different when you play a movie. When you're out on the road, that's an intense thing, man.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, it's a form of hazing, that's for sure. Especially in the punk rock world. They're not, you know, and also an actor. Who also did a film called A Walk to Remember. None of those things really cross over into
not really the same audience. Not really the same.
Let's burn him on stage, basically. So, you know, you had to kind of, you know, go take your lumps, and I did, and we played a punk rock reunion show, but it was almost as a gag, just to see if I survived and if it worked out.
Yeah.
And Pat Smear loved it, and we kind of kept playing, and before you knew it, we're on touring around the United States and around Europe. For 4 or 5 years, longer than the original Germs ever were together.
So now you experienced the road life. You became a little bit of a road dog. Which, I mean, do you have a preference? Do you like acting more? Do you like being out on stage in front of that crowd more?
Oh man, that's a good question. I mean, it's with music, which I'm assuming is the same out here, especially in New York with Broadway and theater. There's something about immediate gratification.
Sure. Yeah.
When you're on stage and you know you did a great job, you know you did a terrible job, you get that reaction back and you move on, and there's no bigger rush.
Yeah.
With television and film, it's phenomenal. It's part of my life, and I love it. But you know, sometimes no one sees the film.
Yeah.
And with television,
I've been in a couple of those.
Like I've been too. And then sometimes with the series, you know, it's once a week.
Yeah.
And then, you know, by the time you finish an entire season, maybe they haven't even seen an episode yet. So it takes a long time to figure out if you even did a decent job.
Yeah.
You know?
Once you've been hit in the face with a pair of panties on stage, it's hard to replicate that. No one throws their panties at you on a sound stage. Just doesn't
it's
happen.
not happening. They're already off at lunch. They don't care.
You mentioned a Walk to Remember.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was back in the TRL days. We're here in the old TRL studio. You have any?
It's a trip.
You have any fond memories of being up here promoting that film?
My biggest memory is no memory. I was so scared and intimidated at the time. I know I was with Mandy. I know we were on a crazy whirlwind tour at the time.
I'm sure.
And I was excited to do it. She had done it before, and this was my first time. And there was so many people like in your face, screaming, laughing, smiling. You know, it was chaos. And before you knew it, it was over. I remember coming down those halls, and I remember leaving those halls. And that's about it.
All right.
Yeah.
That's all I remember every day, too. I didn't know. The rest of it's a blur.
Like, this is all a blur.
I won't remember this in 5 minutes.
Yeah, we'll just black this out.
Obviously, that was a Nicholas Sparks, or based on a Nicholas Sparks book.
Yeah.
What do you think it is about his work, about his writing, that translates so well to movies? He's had so many successful romantic movies. It's unreal.
I don't know, man. He's kind of batting 1,000. I mean, he's just very real with his stories. He comes from a real place, and I think the fans appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the books that I usually read myself, but when I do,
Shane.
shocking. But when I've read some, they're very well written,
Yeah.
and it kind of speaks to the heart, and I can understand why that would be successful.
Okay. Good answer. I don't believe that you didn't read these books, but I have a good answer.
I did at the time. Doing the research at the time.
You down to play a little game? We're going to play a little game today.
Sure.
It's a game of hypotheticals. A game of hypotheticals we're going to put a new spin on, literally, all right?
Okay.
Now, you're used to fighting witches in Salem,
Right.
but now it's time for the Wheels of Witch. The Wheels of Witch.
Okay.
I'm going to call Michelle to help us play. Michelle Buteau. All right, Shane, the way this works, you spin both wheels.
Hi, Bobo.
Actually, Michelle will spin both wheels. It's going to land on two different scenarios there. You have to pick one of the scenarios and then explain why you have chosen them. All right, are you ready?
Yeah, I think so.
You're up to bat, Shane. Here are the Wheels of Witch.
Should I spin my wheels?
Roll them.
Okay.
Spin your wheels, Michelle. We have constant Cheetos dust fingers, or you hear dogs speak, but they're mocking you. They're mocking you. Which would you choose?
It could be the cheesiest.
I would say, and I can't believe I'm saying this, constant Cheetos dust fingers. At least you'll never go hungry. You'll never go hungry.
You always lick the fingers.
You can always lick your fingers. That would drive me crazy.
Okay. You look like a licking finger kind of guy.
I'm a licking finger
All
kind
right, it's my turn, Michelle. Here we go. Ooh, I get to choose between all food tastes like Slim Jims, and the only channel on your TV is C-SPAN. Wow. Luckily for me, I happen to be a fan of Slim Jims. So I think I would rather have that scenario and eat nothing but Slim Jims the rest of my life, or food that tastes like it, than have to watch C-SPAN.
It's what your
the
breath
rest of my
smells
life.
like every morning anyway.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you.
Ice cream flavored.
Can I
Slim
spin
Jims?
my own
Finally
wheels?
outed.
Yeah,
Thanks.
in your own wheels. It's a good position.
The right one's more happy.
Michelle, you get to choose between you sweat blue ink,
Okay.
or handshaking makes you laugh like being tickled.
Oh, definitely.
Shane, thank you so much for being here, for playing. Appreciate it. Salem returns this Sunday, April 5th at 10, 9 Central on WGN America.